What's up, all you foxes and coxes? Mighty Iris here again in the studio. And I gotta tell you, I'm feline, blushy, and hot because I'm about to get a phone call from one of my favorites. He's an actor and a director, a writer of movie scripts and songs. He's 1/5 of the side-splitting comedy team Broken Lizard. I love these guys. They are my rock stars. They are my Duran Duran. They are my Monkees. The entire world wants to buy them beers, smoke them out, and party with them, myself included. Every film is pure ambrosia. Puddle Cruiser, Super Troopers 1 and 2, Club Dread, Beer Fest, The Slammin' Salmon, Quasi, and Meow.
Are you saying meow?
They're so ready to throw on those uniforms thrice, this time for Super Troopers 3, speeding into theaters August 7th. I'm feeling antsy in my pantsy, but I'm ready.
Oh!
The lovable, nimbly, bimbly Paul Soter is calling me right meow. Meow! Ah! Whoa, it worked.
Hi.
Hi. Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Awesome.
Woo! My face, it feels so red now. I'm embarrassed.
Do you get hot face? Do you get a little hot
Yes.
face?
Do you?
Oh. Not at the moment, but I do sometimes.
But like when you're doing your press stuff, do you get, because I would.
When I'm like being interviewed and stuff?
Yeah.
Nah, I get annoyed, but I don't get hot face.
No.
I'm not ever annoyed with you. It's like annoyed with the other guys. One of the lizards will answer a question, tell a story that's not true, and then I get
Whoa.
annoyed. Maybe I get a little red faced. I'll have to look. I'll have to look and see.
So some of the other lizards tell untrue tales? That's interesting.
I'm not going to name names, but some guys are incredibly unreliable narrators. I mean, it's been, 30 years of history, so I totally understand getting some details wrong, but there are some people who will just tell absolutely completely fabricated revisionist history stories. So I'm reliable, though, so anything you hear from me, and if I'm fuzzy on something, usually I'm like, I might be fuzzy on this, but some guys with total confidence will tell a completely bullshit story about our history.
Well, that's Steve Lemmy for you.
See,
that was a guess.
That way. It's a pretty good. It's a good strategy. It's a pretty good strategy.
Thank you.
How did you know it was Steve?
I don't know. He just gives me that vibe. He just has that smirky, mischievous look on his face, like the Cheshire Cat.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I can confirm that it is not Steve Lemmy.
Oh,
Steve
damn.
Lemmy is a good, reliable curator of our history.
Oh, okay. Well, how was your Father's Day?
It was good. I got 2 of them because my son, who is home from college, had made plans to go to Nashville to see his girlfriend. So before he left, we celebrated Father's Day. When he was gone this last Sunday, we celebrated it again without him. So it's a pretty sweet, when life gives you lemons situation because, I basically got 2 Sundays in a row of just dicking around and getting good desserts. My daughter made me banana pudding. My one request was my daughter would make me banana pudding, and it was excellent. It was everything I hoped it would be.
That's so cute because, I just did a phone interview with the singer, one of the singers from Gene Loves Jezebel, and he said
I saw pictures on social media.
Oh, yeah. He said his Father's Day request, I didn't post this, I should have, is he loves apple pie with ice cream every year for Father's Day. So that's interesting, yeah.
I think that probably with men of a certain age, they want a really good homemade dessert.
Yeah.
Without judgment, because also what happens is it's kind of the only time, I'll guess this is universal, but I know it's specific to my marriage, where I could sit down and eat like a gigantic bowl of pudding, and my wife's like, well, it's Father's Day, so enjoy your pudding, whereas any other day of the year, it's like, are you really going to eat that entire bowl of pudding?
Yeah.
And so it comes with a certain amount of like, oh, I can't fully enjoy being a pig.
Yeah.
Like, if I sit down now, I were to eat a portion of ice cream the way that I did when I was a kid, which was like a big whole cereal bowl filled with ice cream, my wife now would be like, you have got to be kidding me. And then I'll feel like shit about it, and then I'll go and have a little baby bowl with like 7 or 8 bites of ice cream. And so Father's Day is the day that I'm allowed to eat the biggest portion of dessert that I feel like.
Oh, I love pudding too, and sadly, I never make it to the pudding when I go to buffets, and I'm always eyeing it. I'm like, I'll get to you, but I never do because I get too full and I just can't.
Because any kind of all you can eat, you're gonna gorge on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So next time, remember this conversation.
Yes.
Next time you go to the buffet and save room for the pudding. It really is an underrated dessert. I feel like
I love it.
It kind of like it was maybe like a hot in the 50s and then kind of went out of vogue. But I'll tell you, man, and I even got to the point, I got my family, like we ranked everybody's like top 5 puddings, and we have become, for whatever that says about us, we've become a pudding family.
That sounds delicious. Yeah. I don't know if I've told you this, but I'm a Pisces, and I constantly fantasize. And I've been thinking lately about Broken Lizard, and what if I got to interview all of you at once in your uniforms? Because I bet you're going to do that on this press tour. Like, what would I even say to you guys? And I get hot face again thinking about it, because you guys are like my Backstreet Boys or my Herman's Hermits, if you will, you know? So, my Monkees.
There's no reason we shouldn't make that happen, because we've already started doing that. What's funny is it used to be you had a full day, sometimes 2 days, and it was just press junket, and you did interview after interview.
Oof.
And now we did it, and it was like 15% interviews, 85% TikTok social media videos.
Oh, wow.
And so if you should ever find that you get to interview the 5 of us in uniform.
Oh, man, don't even tease me. That's already in my spank bank. Swing. Oh. But I am curious, how do we feel when we put on those uniforms? Do we feel right said Fred sexy, or... Oh. I imagine it gets kind of sweaty up in there.
There was a time when the first movie came out, we went all around the country in a rock and roll tour bus, which was awesome.
Ooh.
But mostly what we were doing were like morning radio. Occasionally we'd do morning TV, but it was really almost all morning radio. And the studio and our handlers insisted that we wear the uniforms for radio interviews, and we were always like, why the fuck does it matter to do a radio interview in our uniforms? Also, we were living out of a bus doing a different city every day, wearing these uniforms, to the point you never had a chance to wash them.
Ooh.
So they became really disgusting. Like, Heffernan had an egg stain on his pants that he got, like, on day 1. And by like day 20, because also you were getting drunk as shit the night before.
Yeah.
And morning radio involves like, okay, you guys need to be there at 7 a.m. So we inevitably were staggering hungover or still drunk into some radio station. And I would look at Heffernan's pants and see that egg stain and this like greasy, gross egg stain. And I'd start, like, sometimes I'd find myself choking back.
Vomit.
A little like vomit in my mouth of like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like, what, 2002. So like, so when, and they're not the same uniforms now. They've gotten a somewhat less polyester and slightly more comfortable. But the reality is every single time it's time to promote something, they drag out these uniforms and we just look at each other and go, ah.
Yeah. Oh, damn. So, I'm sorry.
And nobody
that
has
sucks.
ever asked us in an interview. Nobody has ever thought to ask us in an interview.
Yeah. How much do you love wearing those uniforms? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also telling you, we're going to be in Austin doing press. So, there may be a way to make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Although we've been told we may not be wearing the uniforms in Austin.
Ooh.
Though I'm sure we'll have the uniforms.
Well, I'll tell you what, I give you a whole $20 to try on your uniform, and I'd give Heffernan a full quarter to smell his. That's so funny. Having you guys all in uniform, I was going to ask who's the Davy Jones of the group. Has anyone asked you guys that?
People have asked us the idea of, hey, if you guys are a boy band, who's the Joey Fatone?
Ah, damn. Okay, don't answer
I don't
it.
know. See, the thing is, what's great about you, Iris, and the reason I like you is, like, the only boy band, the only, like, manufactured boy band that I know anything about is the Monkees, and I happen to love the Monkees.
I love them too. To me, I think that you would be the Mike of the group, Mike Naismith, because, I don't know, you seem not as wacky as the rest of the guys. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
That is. I thought of, from being a kid, I tended to think of Mike Nesmith as the chill one, the somewhat more grounded one. But the more you learn about the Monkees, like, Mike Nesmith like punched a wall. He was actually quite hot-tempered. He was probably the most hot-tempered of the Monkees. And in reality, I'm probably the most hot-tempered of Broken Lizard. So maybe I am the Mike Nesmith. But here's the thing. This was interesting. This guy, Mike Ryan, who's a great culture writer that I like to read, he had a great, interesting article called "Who is the Leader of the Monkees?" So it was an interesting sort of thought experiment on wait a minute, which of these guys is the leader? And he comes to the conclusion, I'll spoil it for you. He's like, when you go by each of the guys, each of them has some characteristic that keeps them from being the leader, and therefore the Monkees had no leader. And my feeling is maybe that's part of the appeal of the Monkees to children and stoned people is the animals are running the zoo, and you watch the TV show, and at any given time, somebody might be the smart guy, somebody might be the dumb guy, somebody might be an alpha, somebody might be a beta, and it totally is mixed around the way that when you're stoned with your friends, it's just kind of I don't know, at any given moment, you might be this guy, you might be that guy, you might be the guy who has an idea, you might have a terrible idea. My feeling is maybe one of the things that made the Monkees so appealing to stoned people is there's just no leader. There's no organizational structure to the Monkees. There's no food group kind of pecking order. So
Ooh, I like that. I want to read that.
Think about that. This guy Mike Ryan writes writes a lot of cool articles. Mike Nesmith's autobiography is good.
Okay.
And I can't. Oh, you know what? I have it here on my bookshelf. It is called Infinite Tuesday by Michael Nesmith. Because he was an interesting guy, and if we really want to go down the rabbit hole, there's an argument to be made that he was really the sort of uncredited godfather of MTV and a music video channel. He was the first guy who was why isn't there a dedicated platform for music videos? He thought there would be an audience for that, and he tried to do a version of it. Didn't quite work, and then he kind of tried to pitch MTV, and it ended up being that he inspired that, though didn't benefit from it anyway.
Oh man, that's so neat. Because there's something in one of your movies that I'm bad with timelines, but in watching The Detectives, right?
Yeah.
Was that before you could stream something? Because there's a part where Killian, right? That's how you say his name, Killian Murphy.
Yep.
Where he says something about, the day that you could beam.
So no, it was, I think at that time, it was the beginning of Netflix, as when Netflix was a subscription service where you would get DVDs.
By mail,
right?
Yeah,
ordered, to your house. And so to me, there's a moment where Killian is suggesting there will be a time in the future where, yes, everything just kind of gets beamed into your brain or into your home or whatever. So now that I think about it, yes, I predicted
you started streaming
streaming movies.
That's so cool.
And it does break my heart when I do think about. I'm that age where that's how you consumed movies, by going into Blockbuster, going into an independent place, and just pulling all the boxes down. And it was part of the joy of picking a movie, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that got me excited for the weekend, to go to the new release section, and that was great.
Yeah. It's, but I know, it's like record stores, there's a kind of nostalgic comeback for vinyl. So when I travel now, I'm always happy to run into a little dingy mom and pop record store. So who knows, maybe 5 years from now, there'll be a bunch of cool, hip revival video stores.
Yeah. Oh, man, I hope so.
There's a place in LA called Vidiots that is a rental place, and it's a revival theater. So you can go and watch an old movie with a crowd on a big screen, and you can go through rooms of physical media movies to rent. So
that's so cool. That's awesome. Vidiots?
Oh, it's awesome. Vidiots, yeah. I took my son there over the winter break to see A Mighty Wind. John Michael Higgins was there to introduce it and ask questions, and some of the other cast were there. It's just such a great way to see classic movies with other fans. And then because it's LA, you'll also get people who are involved in the making of the movie there doing introductions and Q&As and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, I love that. I still haven't made it to one of them because John Cusack does that, I think, with High Fidelity and Grosse Pointe Blank. And I've got
yeah.
I would love to go to one of those one of these days. Do you guys ever come to San Antonio? I think you have,
last
right?
time I was there, maybe only once. I feel like there's one in San Antonio, right? Is there a big Comic-Con?
I think they have a lot of horror cons here.
Yeah, we may have. Sometimes we get invited to those because of Club Dread. So, yeah, that's how I met Spencer
Yeah.
from his convention. But Eric and I went to a San Antonio convention 7 years ago, and we had a great time. We loved San Antonio. I can't remember. Is there a restaurant like the Pearl or Pearl something? Or?
Yes. Celebrities love hanging out at the Pearl, and I just went to a show there this week. Yeah.
I didn't know.
It's a cool area.
It was popular with celebrities, but we went and we had a blast and had a great meal. And yes, I've been in love with San Antonio ever since then.
Cool. I even heard we have Pee-wee's Bicycle at the Alamo now. I haven't seen it, but I heard things.
That must be recent because I went to the Alamo mostly because of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and there was no bicycle at that time. But that's a great idea that his bike is there. So if that's the case, chef's kiss.
Yeah. Do you think Broken Lizard would ever consider filming a Western in San Antonio?
I don't see why not. I mean, I would love to do a Western. Eric and Jay and I did a TV pilot that didn't go years ago in Colorado that was a post-apocalyptic Western called Offline. At least Eric and I were in full like cowboy gear on horseback in Colorado. It was like snowy and beautiful, and it made me absolutely want to do a Western.
Ooh, cool. I forgot to tell you this last time we spoke because I was so nervous to talk to you. If you could have seen my face. Oh my gosh, I'm glad you didn't. But the first penis I ever saw on film was Kevin Heffernan's. Oh, and that's another.
Wow, so that's the standard by which all penises are judged.
Yes. I knew nothing of the male. I was such a prude.
Wow.
Like, my parents never gave me the sex talk growing up. So I didn't understand my body, nothing. And so to see, that, and I'm like, oh.
How long did it take before you realized that a normal penis is not supposed to be wider than it is long? Not supposed to be shaped like a can of tuna.
I think when I moved in with my first boyfriend, he had a different shape and size. Yeah.
So you must have thought at first, like, oh my God, my boyfriend has this totally weird deformed shaped penis because it's actually like longer than it is wide. And
my first thought when he whipped it out, I was like, that doesn't look like Farva's.
No.
He was like, what?
Why would my dick look like Farva's? Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons part one is so special to me. And that's a special time in a young lad's life to see a penis on camera for the first time. Do you remember what yours was?
My first cinema penis. If I'm not mistaken, in Animal House, when you see Donald Sutherland, you see his bare ass, and you see a little, maybe something coming through, whether it's his drooping balls,
or
maybe the tip of his, certainly the first male ass I ever saw.
Oh, okay.
And then penises, I'm trying to think of other cinematic penises I may have seen.
The first boobs I ever saw were Kate Winslet's in Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic. She shows her boobs in Titanic.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm. You really haven't seen Titanic?
I didn't know there was any racy in that movie.
Oh, yeah. He does the whole sketch, like he draws her. You've never seen that with Leo DiCaprio?
Nah, I don't know what it was. It's like when it came out, I just may have been like, it looks cheesy.
Interesting.
But I've made that mistake about certain movies and then realized that I have fucked up. Like, I didn't see Grease when it came out, and I didn't see it for probably another 25 years. And Steve Lemmy
he loves Grease, right?
Kidding? Oh, he loves Grease.
I love Grease, too. The first one.
We were still living in New York, and some theater was doing a revival of Grease. And he was like, dude, you have no idea what you're missing, and I'm taking you to see it in the theater. And it was one of the best movie-going experiences of my life because I was like, this is an incredible movie, and I was watching it with a theater full of people who were so overjoyed to be watching it together in a movie theater, and people were dancing.
Yeah.
And so, maybe that will be the case. There'll be like a revival of Titanic in theaters, and I'll go see it in the theater and realize what a great movie it is, and maybe people will be dancing in their seats.
I hope so. I went to the Grease. They do sing-alongs at the Alamo Drafthouse, and man, that was a blast.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Did it take long to write Super Troopers 3?
We started writing it within a few months of Super Troopers 2 coming out. So all those years in between was us getting it to where we were happy with it, and then you give it to the studio. It took us way too long for us to get on the same page. And some of that's just the logistics of it. Guys are older, guys all live, most of us are still in LA, but spread out. Finding the time for us to...
Wow.
It's my goal. It's making it my mission. If Super Troopers 3 opens well and they want us to do a fourth, I'm going to insist that we go off to an island somewhere, just the five of us, and just sit down and do nothing for 2 weeks but write. Ooh. And have a first draft.
Oh, it'll do well. I've made some calls.
I hope so. From your lips to God's ears. I mean, it's the movie tested really well. People really love it. I think the trailer's good. A lot of people saw the trailer online.
Oh.
But
so you've seen it already.
You just don't know. What's that?
Oh, you know what? Jamie Kaler, I think he told me he went to the test screening of it, that lucky mother.
I think what Jamie went to was, a little friends and family test screening. But, here's the thing, Iris. You don't want to go to one of those because the movie is not finished. And it's part of the process of figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Visual effects are not done at all. A lot of times the music's not in there.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I'm sure that there's probably a fun novelty to see a rough draft of a movie, but also you're going to see stuff that's going to get cut because it wasn't that funny or whatever. So Jay and Kevin, they watch it a million times as they edit it. I didn't even go to the friends and family screening. I waited until the official test screening where you recruit an audience of totally random people, and then they rate it, they give it scores. It's actually very stressful. So I saw that screening, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it looks good, and it got a great score, and got everybody excited, so yeah.
Ooh, yay. Well, I'm glad that the gorgeous Marisa Coughlan is returning as Ursula, and are we going to see more of that story? Because at this point, Foster and Ursula have been together for 25 years.
They've been in a situationship for that long.
Ooh, okay.
We decided to make that the crux of their plot line is because Foster's, he's kind of lazy about everything. He's not just a lazy cop. He's kind of a lazy boyfriend as well. And this, having been quote unquote together for this long, when Ursula is kind of ready to be look, when are we going to make this official? When are we going to get serious?
Okay.
He's still being wishy-washy, and that we're okay, well, let's make that their plot line. That's what we leaned into. And what was nice is that meant creating a bigger, much meatier, fun role for Marisa for the third one, because she's in the second one, but she, she's not in it
as much.
That storyline shipping us off to Canada sort of dictated separation between those characters. So now we're fully back into where would these two be in their relationship at this point?
Cool. Okay. And as mentioned in part 2, I'm wondering if we're going to see a Rabbit and Fostello who's on first routine. I think that was one of your lines, and I thought, oh my God, that's so funny. I hope they do that for part 3.
I will just say this. I love old-timey comedy, and especially those kind of routines. Kevin Heffernan, when he got married, he and his bride did Who's on First as part of the wedding ceremony, which was delightful.
Oh, so you got to see that. Instead of their wedding dance, that's what they did, right?
They did. I can't remember if that was replacing their vows or the first dance or something, but they swapped in.
That is awesome.
Who's on First. Yeah, I'm trying to think. If they did that instead of vows, maybe they're not legally married, but I think maybe they did the vows and then, or maybe instead of shoving cake into each other's faces or something like that. I'll just say this. I had to be convinced if we want to stay relevant with a younger audience that we may have to dial down the old-timey comedy, or else I would have just seltzer bottles shooting people in the faces and banana peels.
And spit takes. I love a good spit take. Yeah.
Yeah. Try to keep things relevant. You try to stay young. You try to stay hip.
Oh, you guys are golden with that. You'll be funny forever. I mean, Quasi didn't come out that long ago, did it? And it freaking still burst out loud laughing. I rewatched it last night. My God, that's such a good one.
I'm glad. Yeah, you got to spread the word on that one because fewer people saw that, fewer people heard about it, and I think some people are still discovering it. It's my favorite thing that I've ever done, as an actor, because I got to play these two great roles.
Yeah.
So, I always want more people to be reminded to go see Quasi.
You're so great as the Pope. My God, all of you. And that seemed like a love letter to the Monty Python and all that,
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what that was.
Yeah. Okay, so picture this. I got my ticket for Super Troopers 3, right? I'm at the cinema, and I'm seated with my popcorn and my 3 hot dogs.
Oh.
Am I going to see... Yeah, 3. Am I going to see a preview for The Slashing of the Christ? Because for all I know, you've been secretly filming it this whole time with the Spencer.
Oh, I wish.
Okay.
I wish. I can say that we are making progress. Yeah, it's a great project. It's a great script. And, Spencer is only getting more and more of a kind of a hot ticket in the, like, movie world. Like, everybody knows him and loves him in the horror space. And so that's great. But yet still, it's just hard to get a goddamn movie made.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed we're shooting that early next year. So maybe that's out, late next year.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm always going to tell you guys this. If you ever need it, can I be the voice of a radio DJ or something? I don't know. Like maybe a funny commercial like Flova Scotia. That could have been me.
Yes,
like every time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you're in. Done deal.
Sweet.
I will have much more. The nice thing is with Slashing the Christ is, decisions are being made by me and Spencer, so it's a lot easier for me to make things happen. Broken Lizard, there's like 5 of us, so
okay.
It'll be much easier for me to find a way to get you into Slashing the Christ.
Just to audition for it would make my freaking year, and I would do it for free. Like just to work on something with you, that would be, oh my gosh, that's the dream. So of all the Broken Lizard films, is there a line that you've written that still makes you laugh?
This came up the other day. We were talking about the locker room scene in Super Troopers 1 with shenanigans and Farva cleaning toilets. I wrote that scene on a bus in New York City, and I still have the notebook where it's written out. And it's like the only time any of us can think of where like one person just handed over a scene and everybody was like, perfect, that's it. Like everything tends to just be done in a room together. And so because that's kind of the only example in our history of like one person just sat in a room, wrote a scene, brought it to the guys, and that's what got shot. Like, I'm proud of that because it just doesn't happen.
Oh, that's so cool. And I didn't get to ask you this last time, but for Slammin' Salmon, it blew my mind that you wrote the song at the very end, Cry of the Cougar. Did you sing that too?
No. So when we have songs for Club Dread and for Slammin' Salmon, Kevin and Steve and I sit down and write rip-off songs. I think Club Dread, all those are like Jimmy Buffett rip-off songs.
Yeah.
And so I think in that case, me and maybe those guys just sat down with the Survivor Eye of the Tiger song and just said, okay, how do I do a little rip-off version? And it is another fun thing, like you get residuals and royalties as an actor, you get them as a writer. Once a year I get one little like BMI publishing check, residual check for either Slammin' Salmon or Club Dread, and I'm always like, look at me, I'm a songwriter. I get residual checks and royalty checks. And, it's usually like $17, but I'm always a little like giggly and giddy whenever I get a musician, songwriter check because like all comedians want to be rock stars, all rock stars want to be comedians. So in my case, I, like with the Monkees, when I was a kid, I loved the Beatles and I wanted to be in the Beatles because I'd seen the Beatles movies, and the Beatles movies are kind of like Broken Lizard movies, like 4 guys get into some wacky situation they got to get themselves out of, like in Help. So to me, the original fantasy was I want to be in a band, and then it turned into I want to be a comedian, and I got into Broken Lizard. But getting those musician, songwriter royalty checks are like, oh, I guess I am like a successful musician.
Oh, that's so cool. And Earthcock is the name of the band? That's your band?
I guess Earthcock is the name of that band. I forget.
Nice.
But I did not sing it. It was sung by our composer on that movie, this guy Nate Barr, who's really talented, and he does everything now.
Oh, cool.
Brought in a vocalist so that we could get somebody to sound like the singer from Survivor, the guy who sang Eye of the Tiger. And so I went into the studio and met this dude, and he's like, yeah, I'm in the band Ambrosia. Do you know the band Ambrosia?
I say that name all the time. I've heard of them, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you one of the songs. Yeah.
Great 70s yacht rock band.
Ooh, I like yacht rock.
So, yes. So there's like 4 phenomenal Ambrosia songs. I suggest you check them out. But so I met this guy in the studio, and I was like, oh my God, you're the singer of Ambrosia. I love Ambrosia. And he's like, well, I just got hired to be the singer of Ambrosia. Like they had fired their original singer. So anyway, it was sung by the dude who became the singer of Ambrosia.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I wanted to compliment you real quick on Badlands of Cain because you were great in that movie.
You really did. You really did your homework. You really did a deep dive.
I like watching you, though, and I feel like horror and drama, that suits you very well.
I mean, I do it because I like it. It's hard. Like, I'm not a natural dramatic actor. On the few occasions when I've been asked to do something dramatic, it does not come easy, but it's nice to be able to try to do it. But yes, anytime anybody asks me to do anything in a horror movie, I say yes because I'm a horror dork.
Yes. In watching The Detectives, I know you wrote and directed it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Is Violet like a fantasy girl that you created, or is she based on somebody real?
Not anybody in real life. It was a fantasy girl because I think movie dorks, part of that unhealthy obsession with movies and old movies is falling in love with women or the characters on the screen. I think I had for a long time harbored some sort of fantasy of like, oh, imagine meeting a girl who almost seems to have stepped off the screen, especially in that sort of femme fatale way, and how sexy and hot that would be. And then, but as a writer of comedy, I was like, all right, but then the joke would be, if that really happened, that woman would drive you crazy and ruin your life. So that's the kind of, became then the comic premise that I wanted to do in the movie is like, wouldn't this be amazing? But then, no, it would actually.
And did Lucy Liu?
The fantasy's gone wrong, yeah.
Did Lucy Liu just come in and nail it, or was she always like, was it her that you wanted?
I didn't have anybody in mind for either of those roles. The Neil character was just kind of an extension of myself. Mm-hmm. And it just became one of those things, when you set up a script with a producer, they just send it all around town to see who bites, to see who's interested. And in both cases, Killian and Lucy's people read it and were like, oh, they've been asking me to find them something like this. And in both cases, I was like, holy shit, of course, I would love to have Killian. I would love to have Lucy. It's nice. It's nice when you're a first-time director and you get to direct two incredible actors and they're both doing it because they really want to do it and they love the script. And so it was, it helped me a lot because I was nervous as hell, but they were both just so excited to be there that it made it easier for me.
Oh, I love that movie, man. It's so good.
Yeah, it was been a nice thing because, I look at it and I see a lot of flaws, of course, and it was my first time doing anything like that. But it certainly always felt like a disappointment to me that not a lot of people saw it when it came out and it kind of disappeared, and that when Killian really moved up to a whole new level with Oppenheimer, more and more people then discovered that movie, and now the number of people who have discovered it over the last few years is a lot, and so that makes me very happy.
Yeah. Okay, this is my final question, and it's so stupid, so please don't hang up on me.
Okay.
I've always wondered this. Is broken lizard a metaphor for breaking one's penis during sex?
Oh,
I just
somebody asked.
Oh, damn!
Somebody has asked us that. No, I wish I could say it was a metaphor for anything or symbolic of anything. It's really, Jay has always loved absurdity in names. The group was called Charred Goosebeak in college. And, and I think it was just the effect of Monty Python really early on in our career, that absurdist sensibility was big with us and especially big with Jay. So I think for Jay, it was just probably a stream of consciousness thing. This was before we did movies and we were a live sketch group doing shows in New York City, and he went out to get the poster made for our first show and just may have seen a lizard on the sidewalk or something and just was like, oh, broken lizard. I wish there was more meaning to it. I wish there was like a great story, but it really is just, that's the kind of shit that Jay likes, and
nice.
That's how he named it.
But I just want you to know that when a man breaks his penis during sex, it's always the girl's fault.
Oh.
But I'm sure you know that.
I didn't even know that it was a thing. People do break off their dicks.
They break the bone. Yeah, it happens when the girl's on top.
Oh.
I haven't seen it happen, but it's happened to people I know.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay, well, now I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day is researching broken dick stories.
It happens, I swear. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Paul, for talking to me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Of course. Awesome. Thank you so much, Iris.
Okay, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye. Oh my God, I love him. Paul Soter, ladies and gentlemen, that's twice I've had the chance to talk to him. God, I'm so starstruck. He's super cool. Okay, guys, show him some love. Watch this awesome rom-com that he wrote and directed. It's called Watching the Detectives. It's streaming for free on Tubi, Pluto TV, Plex. You can also see him in the horror film Badlands of Cain. That's also streaming for free on Pluto TV. Oh, also don't forget to watch Quasi. That's on Hulu. It's hilarious. And guys, grab your friends, buy their nipples or their private parts if necessary.
Oh!
Make sure your asses are in those theater seats August 7th for Super Troopers 3. God, I can't wait for this. There better be a part 4.